Welcome back to part 3 of the cake series. If you haven't already seen my previous videos where I'm baking and doing the crumb coat for this cake, then check it out now before watching this video. Anyways, let's get into it. I started off by adding a thick layer of buttercream. I've seen a couple of people saying that I say buttercream as butter. So I'm going to change that. I'm not going to say butter anymore. I'm going to start saying butter. Then I just went around trying to smooth all the edges. This was a lot harder than it looks. Every time I'd smooth it over, the cake would just peek through again. I'm not going to lie, I think this took me at least 15 minutes just to do. I just kept on working at it and it did eventually smoothen. I also found this little hack that if you use some hot water, it'll melt the butter, make the cake look smooth. It did work quite well, I'm not going to lie. Once the outer layer was done, I just went around piping this border with this beautiful hot pink colour. I was debating whether to do it in a blue, but I just think the pink would have stood out more. So I eventually just went with the pink. I then went round the bottom of the cake with the same piping tip and just created another border at the base of the cake. As I was looking at it, I did think it looked a bit plain. I didn't like how harsh it looked from the edge of the cake to the top. So I just went round and piped another border. I do think this looks a lot better than it did first. And the cake didn't look as plain after I did this border. I then went round with this light pink buttercream just to make the cake stand out a little more. Also, quick tip when making buttercream, add a little purple dye so the cream doesn't look as yellow. I usually do this every single time I make buttercream, but this time I didn't have any purple dye, and I did go to the shop but they didn't have any, which is why it looks a little yellow. But at the same time I think it was just the lighting, because it didn't look as yellow in bright light. But I really love how the light pink made the hot pink pop a little more. And that was the cake all done. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of proud of it, considering this is like my first big cake that I've ever made. And it did taste really nice. Also, let me know if you want me to make any other types of cake. I think I definitely want to test myself a little more, make a couple other kind of cakes like this. But yeah, that's it all done. If you're enjoying these videos, please leave a like and follow for more. Bye!